You can prepare smoothie at night. So for a personal blender, usually it comes with multiple cups and you can just make two. So half of a carrot and half an apple. Put the apple at the bottom and then carrots. Then some blueberries. Some water to cover, at least cover the apple and the carrots. And about 1 tablespoon of honey. If you have chia seeds or flax seeds, you can just sprinkle a little bit in there. Doesn't need to be much. And then you can use the lid to cover and put it in the fridge. In the morning when you wake up, put it in a blender and you are ready to go. The bread that you buy from store get moldy really quickly. If you won't be able to finish in 4 days, it's better to put it in freezer. Normally I will pick up 4 slices and put it in a container and put the rest in freezer. And when I'm done with the slices in the container, I will take 4 slices more out. When you get grocery for the whole week, especially vegetables, you want to use green beans first. And to prepare green beans, you can do it by hand and remove the top and the end, or you can just use knife or scissors. So you use knife, you just kind of stack them together. Make sure they are all about the same. And just cut it off. So you trim the ends, both ends first before you wash them. This is always be washed, but just out of habit, I always wash it. Again, just put it in the water and take it out. Or you can use scissors. I think the knife is much quicker. Knife is much quicker. And then at the same time, you can look at some of those are brown. You can cut them off. You can keep it long, or you can cut it in half. If you want to cut in half, you can. This one. You might miss some of them. Check it, every single of them. Make sure. So 1 pound, if you go for 2 meals, or even 3 if you don't eat much vegetables. But I like vegetables, so for one person, like this for one person. When you go to the grocery store to shop for the whole week, you can kind of estimate about half pound of vegetables for each meal per person, and then half pound of meat per person, if you like lots of meat. Otherwise, 1/3 a pound be good enough. And you can cook the green beans with onions. Here's one small onion. You don't need to wash onions. But if you wash onions and before you cut it, it might reduce the chance of getting tearing in your eyes when you cut it. So just put the onions directly to the pot. And I happen to have some roasted duck fat, so I'm going to use the duck fat in there. Cover the lid. When you see the steam, you want to stir it a little bit. And cover it again. If you see the steam coming up again, you want to turn down the heat to 5.5 or 6. It was at 7 and now it's a little bit lower. If you like crunchy green beans, at this point you can turn off the heat and that will be good. But I like green bean a little bit softer, so I will let it cook for another 2 minutes. After another 2 minutes, then you can stir it and put some salt. And turn off the heat. Instead of using onion, you can use mushroom or use bell pepper. If you use bell pepper, you want to put the pepper in like right before you take it out from the pot. So cut it into small slices or small pieces and stir it in after you turn off the heat. After 20 minutes, the oven is ready and you want to put the salt on now. If you put the salt like too early, I think it's going to make the meat a little bit tough. The one that I'm going to put the chicken, this chicken I'm going to put the spaghetti sauce, and the other one I'm going to put barbecue sauce. Those two I'm not going to put salt on it. I'm going to salt the other two. And if you want to make a one dish meal, some days that you don't want to cook the vegetables separately, you can put some vegetables at the bottom. If you want to make a one-pot dish like this chicken, take this out. You want to add more oil. And more seasoning for the vegetables. You can use potato, but I only have sweet potato today, so to make it ready, if you use sweet potato or regular potatoes, you want to make it really, really thin sliced. And then put some oil in, kind of mix it. Now I need to get the seasoning again. Put some Italian seasoning. Some sauce. Mix it well. Take this chicken out. So mix it. And then now you want to salt your chicken. So you only sear the foil, just kind of fold it over. Normally I don't use foil, I wash my baking pans. But then if you do not have time, there's always a trade-off. If you don't have time and you just spend so much time cleaning, I think you might as well just use foil and then save you the cleaning time. And this side is for the barbecue. I'm going to take it out later to put the sauce in. So I'm going to loosely cover this side so that way I can differentiate between the two. To get another foil to cover it. Both trays in side by side. After 25 minutes, take the chicken out. And then put it back to the oven again. Start cooking the rice while you are preparing the vegetable. You can add a little bit of any kind of, I guess the cooking wine or vodka. Just a little bit. You will make it fluffy. 15 minutes. You can prepare your vegetables, and I'm going to mix some snap peas with radish. These are pre-washed already. Radish's flavor is very strong, so you don't want to overpower it. So I'm going to just use maybe 1/3 of the bag. And some of them kind of have splits, so you just want to cut it. And some have black spots, you want to remove it. And for the sugar snap peas, you want to clean it a little bit, get rid of the fibery strings. I'm going to rinse it after I clean this out. And put the radish at the bottom of the pot. And put the snow peas, the sugar snap pea, on top. And you can cut some garlic, or you can just put garlic powder. After 40 minutes, take the chicken out and let it rest. While it's resting, you can start cooking the vegetable. Keep the heat to medium high. Wait until you see the steam. When you see the steam, cover and let it cook for a couple more minutes. Turn off the heat and you can sprinkle some salt. Let the chicken rest for about 10 minutes. And here it is. So this one side is barbecue sauce. I just put it on top, so it's still kind of chunky. You can just put a sauce. Sweet potato is soft, it's good enough. So this side can be one pot dish, you don't need to cook the vegetables. And this side will be just chicken only. I should have just put the sauce, the spaghetti sauce, like at the bottom instead of on top of the chicken. It probably turns out much better. If you like lots of meat, you can just have that big one piece of chicken. And pour some sauce on top. If you have cilantro or parsley, you can put some on the top. The country style rib. Some barbecue sauce. Really coated all sides. And cover it again and put it back to the oven for another 10 minutes. So there's one serving for dinner and then the other half will be left over for lunch tomorrow. Chicken with Italian seasoning. There's not much vegetable. It's not enough vegetable. You might want to make some salad or have some celery sticks with it. After they rest for 10 minutes, here are the pork dishes. If you leave it in the fridge over 2 days, the base of the asparagus gets really, really tough and it's old. And even when you get it from store, sometimes they are tough at the base also. You can either cut it off or you can peel it. I just use a peeler to peel the bottom, maybe about 2 inches from the bottom. And then cut the bottom off. Put the beef stew meat in a pot and add baking soda. For each pound, you want to add half teaspoon. I use half teaspoon of baking soda, and then you mix it, stir it in, mix it well. Then add some oil. If you have fresh ginger, you can finely chop the fresh ginger. I'm just going to use the ginger powder, ground ginger. And 5 spice powder. Soy sauce. And I have some molasses. Let it marinate for about 20 minutes. I'm going to add some cornstarch. After about 20 minutes, turn the heat to medium high, and then add more oil. The stew meat's pretty dry, so it's okay to add more oil. Now just let it cook uncovered. Or you can cover it. Put the lid on and wait until the steam comes up and turn down the heat. Let it cook for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you stir it. Turn the heat up and let it boil. And turn the heat down to low and let it cook for another 15 minutes. You can try the meat if you like the texture and it's tender enough for you, then you can turn off the heat. If you want it to be a little bit softer, you can cook for another 10 or 15 minutes. And at this point, you can chop some onions and put it in there, or celery, anything that you want to add to it. If you don't want to cook vegetables separately. After you taste it, If it's not salty enough, you can add some salt. Another option is you turn up the heat and let the sauce become thicker, so it's not like runny like this. What I normally do, I will save the sauce and either make noodle, or when I cook rice, I can use the sauce to make rice. If you don't like the small little things in the sauce, you can use a strainer to strain it. It just doesn't look good, but it's okay if you don't mind. It's okay to eat if you don't mind. Or if you don't want to keep the sauce, just turn the heat up and let it evaporate, so the flavor soaks into the meat more. I don't wash the pot, I just use the same pot to cook vegetables. I'm making mushroom with asparagus. So you want to put the mushrooms at the bottom. And you can use some of the sauce from the beef. It has lots of oil. So turn up the heat a little bit, and then you want to put the bottom section of the asparagus down, because these are tougher than the top. So put it down. So put the mushroom down first, and the bottom section of asparagus, and then the middle section, then the tip on the top, and just cover it and let it cook until the steam comes up.